your headset working tonight? Uh-oh.
Say loud and clear.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
How about?
No.
There we go.
Yes, there we go.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
I taped it up, but I'm going to take it to a guy and have him swap it.
Oh, okay.
I do have a second headset, I just don't like it as well. Although it's the same headset and everything.
Flaps are up. Heat vent and defrost. Get yourself set. Transponder to standby. I never even knew that lit up. Okay, that helps. Altimeter set. 603. Lights as required, which we've got them. Oh, that's the dome light. I
That's
guess
the dome light.
I could be using that. Okay. I'm gonna use that. Well, I guess okay for now. Test the brakes. Hive controls. Brakes work good. Would you like to test them?
Sure, I have the brakes.
All right.
And mine are working.
All right, great.
You have all of the controls.
I have the controls. I'm gonna taxi out. It looked like we could take off from 3-2. Winds are very calm, so.
Okay.
Take off 3-2, and do you want to just head up to our practice area? Or?
Sure.
All right.
We'll do some work out there.
Yep.
Now, you know we have cones out here, but when you go into a strange airport, check anything that might look different on an airport diagram.
Okay.
Or if you're ever concerned, call ahead during the day and say, hey, I'm going to be at your facility tonight.
All right.
Is there anything special I need to know?
Okay. Yep, that would be a good thing to do. Definitely at this airport, keep a lookout for animals on the runway.
Okay.
All right, I would give you my...
Now, if you were at a big airport and you're doing your run-up, you would typically turn off the landing light at this time.
Okay.
But you can leave it on now because there's nobody else out here.
Okay. Here, it's a little harder to see the... Up. Okay. Controls look good. Flight controls are free and clear. Free and correct. Fuel valves on. Trim to take off.
Okay.
Throttle. Let's make sure best power. My throttle up to 1700. Yep. Yep. Car repeat. Good as well. Engine instruments. Good section. Everything looks really good. Vital. I'm getting bit by a mosquito on my ankle, but good. Still runs. Pull it a little bit more. Back up to 1,000. Doors and windows closed and locked. Transponder. Altitude. Record the time. 9:40 p.m. Do a normal takeoff with flaps.
Yes, sir. Normal takeoff.
Car repeat off. Rotate it. Climb out.
Okay. Interior light off.
Yes, sir.
There's some runway lights on.
So, runway lights on. Did you see the mic?
Yep.
You said it's 5,
Give them a chance to react. There you go. Wow. Okay, notice we have red down here. As you look at, that's the unusable landing portion of the runway.
Okay.
The green lights give you the threshold.
Okay.
And then beyond that, they're white.
Okay.
Until you get to the very far end, and then they'll be red saying, hey, you better stop, buddy.
Okay. So when I'm coming in to land here, if I land anywhere, if I want to land like right at the green.
Yep, at or just beyond the green threshold lights.
Okay. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, back taxi runway 32 Riverview.
So we've been known to have deer here at night.
Uh-huh.
How do you know if there's deer out there on the runway or going across the runway?
Besides just seeing them, you mean, with my
Yeah.
light in their eyes, maybe?
The runway lights will appear to flicker as they walk between you and the light.
That would make sense. Because they're going in front of the light for you, and then you
Right.
Nice.
See, here's your red at the end.
Yep.
You better stop. That's all it means.
Okay.
So now we're still in the landing portion, so these last two lights are still white. So the lenses are white on one side,
and
red on the other.
Okay. Cool. My first night takeoff, so...
Okay, on this night takeoff, make sure you have actual rotation speed before you rotate.
Okay.
Once you rotate, make sure your airspeed is where you want it to be, because now tonight is even though it is actually almost 1 hour beyond sunset, look how light that sky looks out there.
I know.
But when it gets really dark, you're going to be taking off into a dark hole.
Okay.
Okay?
You really want to pay attention.
Yes. So
Okay.
you want rotation and flying speed before you, as you start your climb.
Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, departing runway 32 to the north. Riverview.
And as you rotate, your altimeter should start coming up, and your attitude indicator, if you have one, should be slightly above the horizon.
Okay. Airspeed's alive.
Rotation speed, and there you go. Keep that pitch attitude up there, positive pitch attitude. Airspeed is good.
Airspeed looks really good.
Altimeter's coming up.
It is definitely a different view.
Oh yes. I'll wait till you get to safe altitude, then I'll tell you some more about that.
Okay.
Or about night flying.
This is absolutely stunning. This is nice.
Well, we'll get a little altitude, then we're going to make a turn to the west, or to the east. Because look at the sky out there. Even though the sun's been down for almost an hour, look how light it is in the western sky out there.
Absolutely. Probably why they want you to do this an hour after.
Yes.
It's at least a little darker.
Well, if you read all the stuff, it says from official sunset, it is 60 to 90 minutes to be for totally dark, depending on where you are in the United States.
Yep.
Or Alaska. In the summertime, it doesn't get dark in Alaska.
Yeah, they actually have their own different requirements, sort of, don't they?
Yep. Well, I was up in Thule, Greenland in the summer, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, we were taking pictures.
That's got to feel so weird.
Okay, see the towers with the flashing lights on?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Grand Valley Towers.
We can just head off to the west, it'll be fine.
Off to the west or east?
West. Well, we'll go start to the west, and then
Okay.
when we get up to a cruising altitude, we'll make a turn to the east.
Okay, I'll just go beyond the towers and turn west.
Oh, we're beyond the towers a long ways.
Oh, there they are. I was seeing the other one over there. Okay.
But those are little ones because they don't have white strobes on them.
Yeah. There we go. Wow.
Oh, I think there is a note that some of the strobes on the big tower are burned out.
It is. Yup, that's correct. Every time I call weather briefer, they remind me.
At night, always get a good weather brief, whether you self-brief or talk to a briefer, always get a good weather brief at night.
Yep.
If there's clouds, remember you can fly into a cloud without knowing it. Because you just don't always see them.
Yeah. Will you just slowly start to see the ground looks hazier and hazier?
If there's fog, you will.
Okay.
There's ground fog, which is a good reminder. In the spring or summer, you can get ground fog forming along the riverbanks or even over land.
Really important. I was reading about that today and making sure you look at your temperature and dew point
Yes,
spread.
sir. Definitely. That's when it becomes important. If you're on a long cross country at night and you're going to have to make a fuel stop, make sure that fuel is going to be available. Especially if it's where the FBO pumps the fuel, make sure he's going to be available.
Okay.
If it's a self-serve, you should be okay.
Ours is self-serve at Riverview, right?
Yes.
For example, and then give you a key to the combination.
Right.
To the drawer.
Some self-serves are with a credit card.
Okay.
In fact, if it says self-serve, usually that's what it means. There's a credit card machine there.
Got it.
While we're still climbing, let's make a 360 out here, either direction.
Oh, just a 360?
Yeah,
As I'm climbing?
as you're climbing.
Okay.
Because now you see all the sky is still red out there from the setting sun. Now as you come around to the east, look how dark the sky is off to the east.
Wow. Sure is.
But look at all the bright lights that all the cities are all outlined with all their lights.
Yep.
probably one of the biggest concerns that pilots have with night flying is if you have an emergency.
Yeah. Yeah, do you head for lights or do you head for dark or what's...
Dark.
Yeah. I would agree.
So that because dark, there should be no residents underneath there. And like we get out here, we're pretty well built up. But you get in some areas where it looks like it's all woods. Well, all those people that live down there like to have yard lights on all night. So you'll see a whole bunch of lights out in the wooded area or sparsely populated areas.
That was just about a 2-minute turn.
That should be.
Almost up to 4,000 feet already.
You can level at 4 if you want.
Alright. Yeah, really, the airplane has great performance right now, too.
Well, there's other things to keep in mind. At night, there's less radio chatter. The air is usually smoother, especially in the summertime.
For sure. Wow. Pretty good.
Okay, look at your 11 o'clock, at your 1:30 position, and you can see the beacon at the Grand Haven Airport. Green and white. Off at about your 1:30 position over here. Green.
All I see is those big red blinkers.
And the white. Look to the left of the big red blinkers over there. Down low, in close.
Oh, I see it now, yeah.
That's the Grand Haven Airport.
And there's green.
Can we see Muskegon Airport from here?
Muskegon would be right up there, right? Oh, I do. Yep. I see Muskegon. I see the what's that called? Like the runway lights that are
runway end identifiers.
Okay. I can't believe it. I can see it from right here for sure.
Oh, yeah. In the wintertime, when the air is super clear and cold, you can see airport beacons 40, 50 miles away.
Wow.
As long as there's not a lot of other, lights to distract you. Okay, while we're going this way, let's do a power off stall with full flaps.
Oh, okay. Power off stall with full flaps. So first I'm going to pull this back, pull my carpet. Slow us down a little bit. Put in my flaps. And descend a couple hundred feet. There's the full flaps. Traffic, that's 4123, 10 to the south 32. Hearing the horn. Pitch for VX. I should have gone right to 20.
The other risk with night flying is if you're in an unfamiliar area and it's hilly, as controlled flight into terrain. So be aware of that. Know what your surroundings are.
Okay.
If the airport you're going to has a VASI or PAPI system, use it because that will keep you clear of all obstacles on the approach.
Oh, so repeat that? Sorry, how would that protect you from CFIT?
If you have a PAPI or VASI, follow the VASI or PAPI to your runway. That will give you terrain clearance. Okay, we can level right here.
Okay.
Now, I don't advise flying over water at night.
Yeah.
But one illusion I have, you see that boat way out there on the water? Yeah. That can be very distracting. One night we were out, when I was in the military, out on the ASW patrol, and I was sitting up in the nose of the airplane, and it was a dark night. There was like 1 or 2 stars and a ship on the water. If I knew I did not have my seatbelt on, but I would have sworn that we were upside down. But I knew I didn't have a seatbelt on, so I wasn't hanging from the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a strange feeling.
I definitely see that and that. And if you're out long enough and it's completely dark, you might think it's stars or...
Correct.
I mean...
And then, tonight is clear, but sometimes you get a cloud bank and you get a slanted ceiling. That can be a real illusion for a horizon, a false horizon.
Yeah.
Okay, turn around. Well, yeah, you can go out a little bit if you want, but
turn. Maybe.
So just keep that in mind. There's all kinds of little things that you just have to think about. At night, a night flight can be almost an instrument flight.
Yeah. I can see, because you really have to...
Especially if you get out over the water or a sparsely populated area.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's a couple ships out there.
There's Grand Haven up there. So maybe head south then, just to not get up towards Grand Haven.
Right. Also keep in mind that you get those, and like I say, it just becomes distracting. And it's on a really dark night, it becomes an instrument flight.
I'm looking right out here. I basically see nothing but dark.
That's all you see out there is dark. So, turn off your panel lights.
Okay.
Turn off your radio lights if they will.
Yep, I'll do that too.
Okay. So now, what do you do if you have that? You might have a piece of white paper. Your checklist has some white on it, right? Your checklist up there, there's a white page or some white on the pages.
Yep.
You can use light to reflect off of it to give you sometimes if you have moonlight coming in, you can get a little reflection like that to help you out.
Okay.
But this is where you want this flashlight with the red lens in it.
Got it.
Okay, you can have your lights back.
You can do that. Okay. It's amazing my eye started to adjust a little bit that quickly, so...
But boy, that is... Okay, so now, if we have an engine failure, where are you going to go? Well, I see all those, say, some towers down there, and I have all those 5 lights.
1030 at 3 knots, temperature 19 Celsius, 2.13 Celsius.
You pick up a...
That's out of Zealand.
Oh. What are those blinking lights?
Those are just tower lights, probably down there, small towers.
So I don't want to really go there?
No, but just kind of pick... Well, we can't go to... We're too far away from any airports.
Yeah.
Maybe an expressway at night, but even that's not good because you don't know if there's a overpass or anything.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. Yeah. So I'm trying to basically kind of pitch for 65 at least.
And then pick whatever you think is best. Then the old saying goes, if you get down towards the ground, you turn on your landing light, and you don't like what you see, turn it off. But, okay, you can have power back.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Because ultimately, I mean, if you're in trouble like that, you're getting down close to the ground, and Just kind of have to, I mean, part of it is, so you know I'm not going to go for bright lights if I can't make it to an airport. No. And hopefully you're in an area that you're familiar with and you can kind of know that there's a lot of farms in one area or something, but other than that, I'm not sure what else you could expect to do. Climb back up a little bit here.
Okay. Let's go back to the airport. We'll do some takeoffs and landings.
Okay.
Okay, that's the other thing to keep in mind. Reference points on the ground
I've kind of lost them.
are lost, you bet. So if you're on a night cross country, that's when a lot of pilots will go from airport to airport. You would make a little jobs.
3 traffic, Cessna 163, turning base for 32 Riverview.
Oh, I heard a Riverview guy.
Yeah, he was down in Indiana, and he's coming back.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Dan.
I thought that was you.
Did you have a good flight?
Great flight.
Good. Oh, I know what all those strobes are. They're probably irrigation.
Oh. That would make sense.
Yeah. At night, going to a strange airport especially, always try to fly a normal pattern. That means enter on the downwind, base, and final.
Yep. I'm going to enter on the left downwind. I can see our airport. I can see the beacon.
Okay.
I got the Grand Valley Towers in sight.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm going to enter the 45 to the downwind this way. And
Okay.
once we get over there.
I think the lights on these irrigation things stay on all the time, even if the system's not working.
Oh, I never would have guessed that's what that was.
Right.
Really cool.
Windmills, electric windmills, generating windmills,
Yeah.
will have strobes on them also.
They get pretty big and tall.
Yep, the strobe will be on top of the generator. Remember, the blades go up 60 or 70 feet beyond those.
Well, I saw there's some up by Mount Pleasant. There's
Yes,
a wind
sir.
farm. I saw that on the sectional, and I was thinking about going up there.
Well, you have to do a night cross country. Lansing is a good place to go.
Okay.
Because now you go into a controlled airport at Lansing at night,
Yeah.
and you get to find out maneuvering about the airport, around the airport.
Oh, yeah. Because that's a requirement. Absolutely. Got
Yeah.
to do at least a certain number of night landings.
Yes, sir, 10 of them. That's why we're going to go back to the airport and get a bunch of them in tonight.
Nice.
Then whatever we miss tonight, you do on the on the night cross country.
Okay. That green beacon really sticks out.
Now,
You know what to look for.
Now notice, your landing lights are doing nothing for you out here.
Too high.
No, they're just, I mean, they're not shining on anything, they're just on.
Yeah.
Except they will reflect off of a cloud if there's in clouds.
Okay. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf is 10 miles to the west. Gonna enter a left downwind for runway 32, Riverview.
You wouldn't think that that beacon would show up because it's just sitting on top of the hangars.
Yep.
But it has a slight angle to it.
Okay.
That's why you can see it way out here. If it was just rotating in a horizontal plane, you wouldn't see it nearly as much. So I'm not sure what the tip, I don't know how much of an angle it's on, but it is on an angle. If you're going into an airport, a strange airport, turn the runway lights on if you can when you're at least no later than 5 miles away from it.
Okay.
So you can find the airport, the runway.
Yeah. What was that again? How many miles?
At least 5 miles away from it.
Nice, yeah. I've got the Grand Valley Towers and
Yes, sir.
good there. I can still see the runway lights too.
Oh, they probably start flickering here in a little bit. Let's see, what else can I tell you about night flying? Wide runways make you think that you're higher than you are, lower than you are, I guess it is.
Okay.
But anyway, just be aware of that. Runway lights are about 1.5 to 2 feet off the ground.
Uh-huh.
So when all the lights appear to be blended in one straight line, you'll be just above the surface. So as you're looking at them.
Okay. The ground has a tendency of, it feels like I'm still higher up when I'm coming into land?
Yes.
So you kind of adjust for that, okay.
So that's why you always want to try to fly a normal pattern.
Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, 5 miles to the west for left downwind for runway 32, Riverview.
If you're on a cross country at night, always try to use flight following.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask you about that, if we would do that on a lesson like this or on a cross country?
On a cross country.
For sure, yeah. I'll do my pre-landing checklist now if you don't mind.
I would.
Seatbelts and harness secure.
Check.
Landing light is on. Mixture is to best power. Car P. Alright, so I'm going to right around pattern altitude. This is where it gets a little different for me, not being able to have all those normal visual clues.
That's right.
And my...
Well, like I say, right now you're on the 45 to the runway.
Yep.
And you just have to decide when to do the downwind.
Right, and I know I can look at my lights for Cottonwood, and I know I use my wheel strut once I get turned to judge my distance there. Still looking around for any traffic. Looking.
Oh, you can see other airplanes easier at night.
Yeah. Those look like some lakes.
Yes, sir. And you can tell they're lakes because look how the houses surround them.
Yeah. Now the lights are not flashing, so I'm not too concerned about them going out on me right now,
No,
but
sir.
I'll keep an eye on it. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left downwind for runway 32, Riverview. See how this looks here. Okay. Look is a little different. I got my threshold I need to pay attention to as well.
Okay.
Did the pre-landing checklist. We'll do a normal landing.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Avoid those specialty takeoffs and landings at night.
Yeah. Alright, I'm abeam my touchdown point. Pulling the carpet. I'm within the white arc. 10 degrees of flaps. Out a little bit of power. Starting that descent. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left base for runway 32, Riverview. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, final for runway 32, Riverview.
Okay, you see the red, the unusable portion of the runway,
Sure do.
then the threshold, and then the white lights, and at the far end you can see the red ones.
Yeah, definitely different.
When your landing lights reflect off the runway, that'll give you an idea of how high you are. There, now the lights are starting to blend together in a line. Roll all the way to the end.
Okay.
Because there's no wind, so we're going to alternate.
Okay.
We have to get you know, all these takeoffs and landings in,
Yeah.
and there's no other traffic, and there's no wind, so you might as well make the best use of the time rather than taxi back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could feel it. It did come up quicker than I thought it would.
Oh, yes.
That was different. That was really cool, though.
Remember, runway lights are 200 feet apart, so that'll give you an indication of how close you are to ends and everything.
Okay. Do a quick off, up, off. Okay. We'll just stay in the pattern.
Yes, sir. Stay in the pattern.
All right. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf departing runway 14. Riverview. Staying in the pattern.
Keep going. It's good. They're going to come on again. That's the center line. You're fine.
50.
Positive rate. Keep going. Get that back up there. Don't let it settle down. Hold it there.
Yeah, thank you for that. Good rate. Good airspeed.
Yeah, once you rotate, keep that positive pitch attitude. Don't let it come back down. Okay, we're drifting left, so...
Sorry?
I say you're not straight on the center line of the runway. We're drifting left.
Oh, okay. You just know by your own...
Yeah.
I gotta look back, too.
Okay, as long as we're in the climb here, turn the runway lights back on.
I guess that's good practice seeing them. I thought they went out.
Nope, they flash. I don't know if it's 1 or 2 minutes, but I know at least 1 minute they flash like that.
Riverview Cessna 18 Golf is left crosswind for runway 14, Riverview. I was like, oh, I need to click this mic.
It won't, they have to go completely out.
Okay.
Some systems might let you do that, but not this one.
Riverview Cessna 18 Golf left downwind for runway 14, Riverview.
Now, just from flying out of Riverview, you know there's some high trees on the approach to runway 14. So plan on landing the middle of the first third of the runway, not at the end of the runway.
Yep.
Alright.
Seatbelts harness secure.
Check.
Landing light, mixture rich.
How close to the runway do you want to be?
I usually look halfway up here,
Okay.
but does that seem close to you?
Just from where I'm sitting here, it looks like you're really close.
I would take your opinion with high regard.
Well, no, just you'll find out yourself when you go to turn final.
Said just try to land with a third.
Yeah, avoid landing right at the very end of the runway, because that'll bring you in low.
Alright, beam my touchdown. RP. 10 degrees of flaps. Start a slow descent. Feel like I was a little bit close. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf left base for runway 14 Riverview.
I'd start descending a little more. You're still 900 feet above the runway.
Okay.
Reduce power. There you go.
Riverview Cessna 18 Golf final for runway 14 Riverview.
Yeah, at this point I would typically be 500 or 600 feet above the runway.
Okay.
Yeah, look how high we are.
Yep. We are.
Put in all the flaps. And even then we might be way too high. Airspeed is good.
Yep, airspeed looks good. 65.
You're going to land 2, 3, 4, about 800 feet down the runway. That'd be the fourth center light. Okay, now start round out. Start to round out. Let it settle down now. Back. Nice and easy. Back, 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 back. Keep that nose coming up, because you don't want to land on that nose gear.
Okay.
So keep that nose coming up. And we'll taxi all the way to the end and turn around and do the other direction.
Okay.
Because you land pretty flat that time. So keep that nose coming up.
Okay. Our normal takeoff checklist. Flaps up, RP off, make sure you're the best power. Gotta do better with the rotate this time. Climb. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, departing runway 32, staying in the pattern, Riverview. Airspeed's alive.
That nose come right up, straight up. There you go. There's your 65, there's your 70 and your climb. Don't let the airspeed increase, keep that nose up there. There's 75 right there.
Got it. Looks good.
Now, just for seeing airplanes, you have an airplane over here at your 2 o'clock, 2:30 position. He's high, but he's right out there.
Oh yeah, I see him up there.
Yep.
November 5219. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left crosswind for runway 32, Riverview. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left downwind for runway 32, Riverview. Belts and harness secure.
Check.
Landing lights on. Our pizza off. Alright, everything's looking good so far. I like this distance more. RP. 10 degrees.
I'd reduce my power to about 17 to 18.
Okay.
I just like that because now you should be starting your descent.
Right now, yep.
If you have, 2,000 or 21 or 2,200 RPM, it just won't descend.
Yeah. Yeah, look, and this is a nice descent rate. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left base for runway 32, Riverview.
your routine. Now you're probably going to be low on final.
Probably a little. I'll wait to put in the flaps then and just.
Thank you. Sure, that's what you do.
Riverview Cessna 18 Golf. Final for runway 32, Riverview.
There's your light coming up on the surface. The lights are blending together. Keep the nose coming up. There you go.
That one was a little better.
Yes.
Another normal takeoff.
Yes, sir.
Flaps are up and our repeats off. Mixture is rich. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf departing runway 14, staying in the pattern, Riverview.
There you go. Keep that pitch up there.
Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left crosswind for runway 14, Riverview. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left downwind for runway 14, Riverview. Alright, pre-landing checklist, seatbelts, harness.
Check.
Good. Landing lights on. Mixture rich. My lights are still flickering down there at the runway.
Okay.
So should I key it up and does that turn it back on, or do you have to wait for it to...
You have to wait for this system
right.
here to go all the way off.
That's what you said, okay.
Some systems, if you're at a strange airport and you don't know, try keying it and see if it'll come back on.
Yeah, they're off now.
Okay, key them on it.
It's turned on.
I don't know if the book or the chart supplement still says it, but at one time over at Auto Exec, it said key the mic slowly,
Okay.
not 5 real fast.
Yeah, like a couple seconds between each.
Yeah, or at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left base for runway 14, Riverview. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, final for runway 14, Riverview.
If you ever think you're going to have to do a go-around at night, start it as early as possible. So let's go around. there, see, the night landings have to be to a full stop.
Yep, full stop. Is what we're doing considered a full stop, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
Basically, if you just not a touch and go.
Not a touch and go.
I wouldn't want to do one of those at night anyway.
No, not at an airport like Riverview.
No.
But yes, night currency has to be to a full stop. If you're at an airport like Grand Rapids or Muskegon where you have, you know, an 8,000 or 10,000 foot runway,
yeah,
it can be a stop and go.
Oh, wow.
As long as you come to that full stop.
Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left crosswind for runway 14, Riverview. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left downwind for runway 14, Riverview. Landing checklist. Seat belts, harnesses secure. Check. Landing lights on, mixture rich. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left base for runway 14, Riverview. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, final for runway 14, Riverview.
Up a little more, a little more, a little more. A little more now as you get close to the surface. Just like that.
Very good. Thanks.
We'll go to the end and we'll do one more takeoff and landing.
Okay. This is so good that we can do so many in from different directions too.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's nobody else in the pattern. There's no wind. So why not take advantage of it?
That's right.
Auto Executive 607 Echo Alpha, 7 miles to the north. Be making straight in for runway 20. Auto Executive.
My normal takeoff here.
Normal takeoff.
Off. Flaps are up.
Turn the landing light and taxi light off.
Okay.
Okay.
Take off.
Take off. Stay between them.
Airspeed's alive.
Keep that nose coming up. Or I shouldn't say coming up, but that same pitch attitude.
Yep, correct. Thank you. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf is left crosswind for runway 32 Riverview.
Well, one other thing to keep in mind, you keep saying, well, I do a good scan of all,
607 Echo Alpha, 2 miles.
all the instruments and all that. At night, make sure you include the amp meter in your scan.
Okay.
With all the lights that we have on and the radios, you get about 30 minutes out of your battery before it dies.
Okay. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf left downwind for runway 32 Riverview. Seat belts harness secure.
Check.
Make sure you're rich. I turn on the landing lights for landing, or we
Oh no, they burned out.
They
Remember
burned
on
out.
the
That's
takeoff?
right. Oh my gosh. Okay.
They weren't working when we took off, so they're not working when we're landing.
All right.
now you're going to depend more on the runway lights to tell you when to really round out and how high you are above the surface.
Got it.
Yeah, the moon's starting to come up. Look way out there at your 11 o'clock position.
Wow, that's stunning. Wow, that looks really great. Does it always look that nice from up here?
Oh, no.
I was going to say, that's like a really good one.
Yep, it is. That's a good one tonight.
Wow, beautiful. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, left base for runway 32 Riverview. There it is, right there. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf, final for runway 32 Riverview.
The lights are starting to come together. Let it come down real easy. Now they're coming together real easy on the back pressure. Back, back, back. Different feeling with no light.
Yeah, it is. Say that again.
Okay, now we'll taxi back to the hangar.
Oh. Mind if I do that for safety while we're taxiing? Okay.
Because we don't have any blue taxiway lights, you have to figure out. Some airports will have markers with blue reflecting tape on them for the taxiway.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay, so now we don't have good runway markings, but typically there might be a yellow lead-in light to the taxi. So we don't have that either.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to zigzag back and forth to find the taxiway.
I feel like it's somewhere.
Oh,
there we go.
Right there.
There we go.
Yeah, and that's what you do. You have to zigzag and find it.
Okay.
And like I say, some airports will have really good yellow lead-in markers.
Yeah.
And then blue taxiway, just like PVC pipe with blue tape on them.
anything to help you figure out where to do.
And if you're at a strange airport and you're not familiar with it, and they don't have a taxiway markings, it is hard to get around.
Yeah, I bet. Riverview Cessna 18 Golf is clear of the runway at Riverview. Just because I knew that was right around there, it helped me, but...
Yeah, that's all it does. It just kind of helps you. If you miss that one, you can always go down to the big one.
Yep. Flying at night sure is.
It's nice.
It's really nice. A little trickier,
Right, a little trickier.
but it's beautiful and it's really challenging.
And we talked about emergency landing. In the wintertime, if there's snow on the ground,
Yeah, what do you do?
the white fields will be the open fields.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? Like,
If the ground is snow covered in the winter, the big white fields will be the open fields because they'll be covered with snow. The trees and all that will be, dark and that. It's just
okay.
easier to pick out a big open field then.
yeah.
Yeah, so at night, make sure you know where your wingtip is.